who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey El Dorados, Larry Elder here. This is episode number 34 of And Another Thing. And I want you all to go to LarryElder.com, sign up, become an El Dorado. You're going to get a free copy of Michael and Me, my award-winning DVD about the Second Amendment. It's only going to cost you about the same amount of money as you'd spend at Starbucks getting you a mocha, frappuccino, maca laca, $4.75, I'm told. I don't drink coffee, as you can tell. Now to the show. As you may or may not know, last night I was on the Piers Morgan show. Let me tell you first how that happened. I was tweeting a bunch of tweets about Piers Morgan's interview with Rachel Jeantel. She is the most important witness in the George Zimmerman trial. She's the one who was talking to Trayvon right before Trayvon was shot and killed. She's the one who testified that Trayvon was underneath George Zimmerman yelling, "Get off me, get off me." And as you know, she was a lousy witness. She was inarticulate. She wasn't focused. She had awful grammar. She was rude. Her demeanor was terrible. She was probably one of the worst witnesses I've ever seen. So Piers Morgan has her on, and because she got hammered in the Twitter world, people called her stupid. People called her fat. People said probably all sorts of cruel things. Anybody who's in the business that I'm in is aware that from time to time, the public will express their sentiments, and sometimes it won't be so genteel. In any case, he has her on, and he tries to rehabilitate her and allows her to explain why it was that she was so uncomfortable on the stand, allowed her to explain how much she didn't like Don West, the dastardly trial attorney who cross-examined her on the stand. And the next morning, Piers Morgan did a victory lap because apparently this was his highest rated show ever. And so he goes on the morning show and starts beating his chest about what a wonderful person she is and refers to her as, quote, one smart cookie, close quote. So that set me off. It didn't set me off that he flattered somebody. It set me off that this was a black woman who clearly was not, quote, one smart cookie. It's the kind of condescending attitude that a lot of left-wing whites have. This is primarily the whole basis behind race-based preferences. The assumption is, as a black or brown person, frankly, you're just too stupid to be able to match the same standards as everybody else. So we're going to lower the standards just for you so you get in the door because otherwise you wouldn't be able to make it through. It's the same mentality behind calling somebody who didn't deserve to be called a smart cookie. So I decided that I would write a few tweets, and I suggested that if she's such a smart cookie that perhaps Mr. Morgan might like to hire her as a co-host. And I also said if she's such a smart cookie, why then is a 19-year-old still in high school? Explain that to me. And so Piers finally tweets me back and calls me a coward and says, if you have the balls to come on my show, come on. Well, the next day I was on and I showed him my cashews. And it wasn't pleasant. I urge you all to go online and find it. It's all over the blogosphere. You can see it.
Larry,
you're a liberal guy, bleeding heart liberal person. You think you're doing something for black people. You're not. You're making black people feel as if they're under siege. And it's not true. It's an outrage. Marv is from Eagle Rock, California. I've been doing some reading up on the life of Booker T. Washington recently. What do you think he would say about the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons of the world? Not much. Booker T. Washington was about hard work wins. He was about personal accountability. He was not about fighting racism. He felt that if you make yourself of value to the community, that racism will deal with itself. In fact, he said that in his book called Up From Slavery, which was written, by the way, in 1901. Now think about that. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be in El Dorado. Go to my website, LarryElder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.